Hello again, everyone. Welcome to our next topic, which is the ethical considerations, no, in nursing leadership and management. Now, why do you, as second-year nursing students, need to learn this? Well, you will be led by uh, nursing leaders, no, right now. So, and in the future, when you become staff nurses, you will be under the supervision, no, of your nurse managers. So, understanding the challenges that they face, no, will help you work better as a team. Also, many of you will become team leaders, head nurses, or managers, directors in just a few years. And this prepares you for that role. Also, you need to know what ethical leadership looks like so you can expect it from your bosses and practice it also yourself. Also, you will face the same dilemmas, no, like unsafe staffing, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, or limited supplies, and need to understand how to make the right choices. And lastly, good leadership directly affects your workload. It affects your safety and the care your patients receive. Okay? Now, here's exactly what we will cover today. So, uh, you will, at the end of this session, you'll be able to learn how to spot ethical problems, no? Understand what, especially in nursing leadership and management. Understand what makes leadership challenges unique. Work through hard decisions using clear rules. Also study different leadership styles and tackle issues like staffing and resources, and build ways to make our workplaces fairer and safer. Okay? Now, you have to remember no, that leadership choices affects everyone, not just one person. So this topic prepares you for both working under leaders and becoming one yourself. Okay? Now, let's start by looking at the unique ethical issues leaders face every day. Unlike bedside nurses, no, who focus on individual patients, leaders make choices that affect everyone in the unit. They are pulled between what the hospital demands, no, like cutting costs or treating more patients, and what patients and staff actually need. And this causes moral distress, no, among nurse leaders. That heavy, frustrated feeling when you know exactly what is right, but rules or lack of resources stop you. For example, a manager knows adding two nurses would cut mistakes in half, but there is no budget. So that moral distress affects you too. You'll carry the unsafe workload. Okay? So you must remember no, that leaders don't have perfect resources. They face pressure from many sides. Okay? Um, they face pressure issues like leadership decision making, organizational ethics, staff well-being versus organizational goals, impact on patient care, and moral distress. No? Um, and moral distress happens when you can't act on one on when you cannot act on what you know is right. Now, to help leaders make the best possible choice, even in tough situations, we use six core ethical principles. Now, let's look at those. No? So these 6 principles are moral compass. Um, we have been discussing these ethical principles. For now, when working with leaders, we can use these 6 ethical principles. And later, you can apply this when you become leaders yourselves. So, for example, for autonomy, in the case of autonomy, asking your opinion before changing schedule, not just giving orders, is respecting your autonomy. So when leaders do this, they are applying the principle of autonomy. When you become leaders yourselves, that is what you're going to do also. You ask your people their opinion before changing their schedule. Although it might be eating more time, but that is what is ethical, to respect their autonomy. Second is how non-maleficence should be applied. Refusing to assign 7 patients to one nurse, no, that harms both you and patients. Imagine one nurse as being assigned to 7 patients. Okay, so when a nurse leader practices non-maleficence, he or she can prevent harm in management, prevent staff burnout, avoiding unsafe assignments, protecting patient safety through adequate resources. Although again, of course, it's going to be very challenging. Next is fidelity. Fixing broken equipment when promised. So that is what a nurse leader must do. Through honest communication, following through on commitments, maintaining trust in leadership staff relationships. Next is beneficence. Pushing for training so you can learn new skills. So a good leader will help you, will facilitate, will pave way for your path to becoming a better nurse. So a nurse leader will usually push you for training so you can learn new skills. Okay. Next is justice. Giving holiday leave fairly, not only to favorites. So that is the fair distribution. And even with resources. Um, well, giving holiday leave fairly is a fair distribution of time as a resource. Okay, so there must be equitable scheduling, fair performance evaluations, consistent application of policies, and fair workload distribution. The next is veracity, telling the truth about budget cuts instead of hiding it. There has to be transparent communication, honest feedback, accurate reporting of outcomes, and ethical organizational practices. There has to be truthfulness in leadership. Now, you have to remember these principles apply to every nursing role, not just leaders. When you're unsure what to do, you ask, which of these principles should guide me here? Okay? Now we know the rules that guide leaders, but what does it actually mean to be an ethical leader? So let's find out. Ethical leadership means walk the talk. Okay? Demonstrating appropriate conduct through personal actions and relationships. In short, walk the talk. Leaders must practice what they preach. Their behavior sets the unit's tone, the team's tone. If they're honest and fair, you'll feel safe. You'll feel safe speaking up. If not, you'll stay silent about problems. Now, this matters to you. Ethical leaders create workplaces where you feel respected, no, and confident to give your best care. So you have to remember that you don't lead just by giving orders. You lead by what you do. Good leaders admit when they are wrong, not just act like they are perfect. Okay? Now, there are, of course, common leadership ethical challenges, staffing decisions, budget pressures, conflict resolution, resource allocation, performance evaluations, hiring, and promotion. Okay? Now, how do leaders face this? There are different styles of ethical leadership. So let's explore the most common ones used in nursing. Now, the three common ethical styles no, are transformational leadership, servant leadership, and Brown and Trevino framework. Okay, um, transformational style no, inspires you to grow, not just to follow orders. Okay, um, servant leadership style no puts your needs first, like staying late to help you to learn a skill. Okay, and there's also the ethical leadership components of Brown and Trevino framework, where a leader is real and honest. The leader never pretends to know everything. Okay, now when you reach your fourth year, no, you will again be studying about nursing leadership and management subject. No? You will know more of these leadership styles. No, there will be more discussions about these styles. But for now, uh, what you need to be reminded of is that there is no single perfect style. Okay, the best leaders, no, uh, adapt to what their team needs. Okay, did you get that? The best leaders adapt to what their team needs. All good ethical styles focus on serving others, definitely not having power. So power is not the focus, no, in leadership. The focus should be on serving others. Okay? Now, how leaders act shapes the whole feeling of the workplace. So let's talk about what we call ethical climate. Okay? Ethical climate is your workplace. Uh, it's a vibe no in your workplace. Do we feel safe here? Is fairness normal? When it's good, patient get safer care. No, when ethical climate is good, patients get safer care. Also, nurses stay longer, and everyone is happier. No, you help shape this climate too. No, because your voice matters. So remember, ethical climate isn't set only by leaders, it's built by everyone's actions. A positive climate no, isn't, uh, a positive climate makes it easier for you to do the right thing. Okay? Now, how do these leaders uh, build this kind of positive environment. Okay, so there are steps, no, in shaping this kind of climate. First is modeling ethical behavior daily, creating safe reporting channels, rewarding ethical conduct, and addressing unethical behavior promptly. Okay? Also, do not forget the factors that contribute to positive ethical environments. There has to be clear ethical standards. Staff should feel empowered. There should be ethics resources. Open communication should be normalized. No? Equitable practices must be a norm. And there has to be a moral support within the team. Okay? Because according to studies, no positive ethical climate correlate with improved patient outcomes, higher staff satisfaction, reduced errors, and better financial performance. All right? Now, let's put all this theory now into practice, starting with a very common dilemma, which is uh, yeah, we're done with that. A very common dilemma, which is budget cuts, no? Budget cuts and patient care. In this scenario, no, a nursing director must implement 10% budget cut mandated by the administration. Uh, Options are reduce nursing staff positions, cut education and training budget, delay necessary equipment upgrades, or reduce patient care supplies. Now, each option impacts patient care differently. Okay. Now, the ethical conflict is versus fiscal responsibility. No, between fiscal responsibility versus patient safety, quality, and staff well-being. Okay. Um, Now, the proposed decision is uh, we have to prioritize direct patient care. Also protect essential staff. Delay non-essential expenses. And cut administrative overhead. For the justification, patient safety is paramount. No? Protecting frontline care aligns with non-maleficence and beneficence. There has to be transparent communication about trade-offs uh, demonstrating ethical leadership. Okay? But remember, no, that every choice hurts, but definitely protect what keeps patient and nurses safe first. So a leader must cut office cost or delay waiting room upgrades instead of gloves, bandages, or frontline nurses. If leaders cut training or supplies, you work with less support. Okay? Now, remember again that patient safety is always the first priority. And transparency helps build the team. No, it helps the team understand why changes are needed. Okay. Now, budget pressure isn't the only hard choice. What happens when you have to choose between keeping a skilled worker and protecting your team? In this case scenario, no, a nurse manager receives multiple complaints that a senior nurse is bullying new staff uh, through public criticism, withholding information, exclusion from team. No, so those are part of the complaints. The senior nurse is a high performer who is valuable to the unit, and it seems like she is difficult to be replaced. Now, in this case, new staff are threatening to leave, no? And the manager must address toxic behavior while balancing retention needs. Okay? So the proposed decision, so very clear ang ethical conflict, no? Retaining valuable staff versus protecting well-being and healthy culture. So the proposed decision is investigate thoroughly. No, investigate the complaints thoroughly and objectively. Address the behavior directly with the senior nurse. Also provide education on professional conduct and teamwork. Also enforce consequences uh, if the behavior continues, no, despite intervention. Okay. And the justification is that safety and well-being are paramount. Uh, Creating ethical culture, no, and healthy work environment are important. Also, the proposed decision demonstrates moral courage and ethical leadership. It prevents future harm and maintains professional standards. Okay? So, skill is never an excuse for cruelty, in short. Keeping a bully drives away new nurses and hurts teamwork. This teaches you what to expect from leaders, no? And what to do when you lead others. Okay? So remember, a toxic team hurts patients in the long run. Also, everyone deserves to feel safe at work, no matter how skilled they are. Now, another big pressure leaders face is being told to work faster to make more money. Now, let's look at that conflict. So, productivity versus quality and safety. In this scenario, hospital administration pressures nurse manager to reduce length of stay and increases patient throughput to improve financial performance. Manager concerned this will Manager is concerned that this will compromise no the quality care and patient education. The staff are also already stressed. Medication errors are increasing. So the manager must balance organizational goals with patient safety. So the ethical conflict is very clear: organizational efficiency versus quality care and safety. Now, the proposed decision is to advocate no, for adequate staffing and resources. Also, implement quality metrics to demonstrate the impact of rushed care. Okay. Also, educate administration on safety, no, on safety risk and long-term costs. And a nurse leader must refuse no, to compromise patient safety for productivity targets. Okay? And the justification is that patient safety is non-negotiable. It is a non-negotiable ethical obligation. Quality care also has long-term financial benefits. The decision, no, the proposed decision demonstrates moral courage and ethical leadership. It prevents harm and maintains professional standards. So, in short, rushing leads to readmissions, which cost more money and harms patients. If leaders give in to pressure, you will be forced to cut corners and feel guilty about the care. So remember, speed never matters more than safety. Good leaders have the courage to say no when it counts. Okay? Now, these cases, no, these three cases, help us learn. But what tools can we use to make any ethical choice? Let's look at the steps leaders follow. Um, these steps, no, modeling ethical behavior, communicating ethical vision, establishing ethical policies, promoting ethical dialogue, addressing moral distress, and providing ethics education, no, um, these steps work for you too as a staff nurse. So speak up fairly, share concerns, and support teamwork who feel stuck. No, support teammates who feel stuck. Um, Good leadership starts with good habits. Okay, and remember, no, that you don't need a title to practice ethical leadership. Supporting your peers, no, supporting your colleagues is a key part of ethical practice. Okay. Now, to make decisions even clearer, there's a standard 7-step guide that leaders use. No? So let's walk you through to it. Now, these 7 steps, no, are used, no, by leaders. So use this guide for any ethical choice. Even though you are not a, nurse manager yet, actually, it can be also used by the staff. And of course, never skip the American Nurses Association and the Philippine Nurses Association Code of Ethics because it's your trusted rule book. Okay? So what are these 7 steps? No, first is to identify the management problem. Then second is to apply the code of ethics. Third is to analyze ethical principles involved. Fourth is to generate leadership options. Fifth is to evaluate consequences for all stakeholders. Sixth is to select and justify your course of action. And seven is to implement and monitor the decision. Okay. Now, there are common dilemmas, no, that leadership face. Actually, I've mentioned this in the previous slide. No, the common dilemmas include staffing decisions, budget pressures, resource allocations, performance evaluations, and conflict resolution. Um, but then again, yes, you can't solve every problem alone, but you can advocate for what is fair. No, many pressure come from outside, um, not just your manager. Okay, so to face, no, and manage or navigate through these dilemmas amid all these organizational factors, like legal and regulatory constraints, financial and budget pressures, political and organizational dynamics. As you navigate through these dilemmas amid these organizational factors, you can use this 7-step model for leaders. Okay. After making a choice, or after uh, doing the 7-step um, process, um, how do we know if it was truly ethical? So let's look at how to evaluate decisions. So in this slide, uh, this slide shows you, how to morally evaluate, an action. Okay. So again, take a look at the act or the object itself, the intent, the outcome, and the circumstances. Okay. And in this case, in nursing leadership and management, the act itself or the object is the leadership action. What are the management decision taken, the staffing allocation, the budget cut, the policy implementation, the performance evaluation. And also, we take a look at the intent or the leadership motivation, the purpose behind their decision. Do they want to protect the patients? Do they support staff? Do they want to achieve quality improvement? Or do they have fiscal responsibility towards the management? For the outcome, these are the results again and consequences of ethical leaders' decisions. Let's take a look at the impact on patients, of that leadership decision. Its impact on the staff, the organization, the quality of care, the financial performance, and the staff satisfaction. Okay? And then next is for the circumstances. The review or observe the organizational context. Try to understand the resource constraints, the budget pressures, the policy requirements, the staffing shortages, the administrative mandates. So these are usually the organizational context, the circumstances that can make a leader action or decision less grave or worse. Okay? So in looking into these four components, first is we define the problem. So let me just zoom in this part. Define the problem and collect the relevant facts. Then identify the feasible options and assess. Next is to assess the effect of each option on stakeholders. The fourth step is to establish criteria for determining the most appropriate action. And the last is select the best option based on the established criteria. Now, here's the thing, key for leaders. Evaluate that all four components, the act, the intention, the outcome, and the circumstances, with transparency, accountability, and consideration of all stakeholders. Okay? So who are the stakeholders again? Again, it's the patient, the staff, and the organization, including the community. Okay? So In summary, no, ethical leadership is essential for quality healthcare. Leadership decisions impact patients and the staff. The ethical climate improve outcomes significantly. Moral evaluation of management decisions is definitely crucial. And lastly, creating ethical environment is a leadership responsibility. And learning all of this isn't just about your boss, no, or your manager. It's about becoming the kind of nurse, no, and leader our profession needs. You deserve fair, honest leaders. And one day, you will be that leader for others. Okay? Now, as we end this session, I would like you to ask yourselves, what is one quality of an ethical leader you want to practice yourselves in the future? Okay? On that note, thank you again, everyone, for joining me in this session.